Welcome back to part 2 of the things you may have missed in Clair Obscur. And today we've got the first proper episode now that we've finished the prologue. You may recognise this area from the demo that I showed off last month. This is Spring Meadows. And as any good RPG should do, the first thing we're going to do is explore behind us. And if it's a good RPG, they will have left an item there for us to discover, and sure enough, under the waterfall is a bunch of chroma. Now again, as we're running down into the next area, I have my tutorials disabled because I've already done the game, so a few of the opening fights will be a little bit different to you than they are for me, because you're being introduced to certain mechanics that I'm already familiar with. So once you've learned how to shoot weak points and you've gone through the next few cutscenes, just keep heading down, because the whole of this first section is very linear with absolutely no loot at all. Now you finally have your second party member. Lune, I believe, is hands down my favourite character. The elemental stains that she produces are absolute god tier, and I do have build guides coming out for all the characters soon, so I can talk you through how to most efficiently use her to deal tens of thousands of damage in one hit, even in the early game. Anyway, now that you've got her and you've equipped your first Pictos, you are just going to keep progressing forwards, and once you crouch through this confined space and rest at the next expedition point, it's just after this that we will finally start to acquire some missable loot. So once you've taken out the Lanciers and snagged a new weapon for Gustav, come up to the right here for some chroma. Also, don't forget to equip the weapon because it is way more powerful than his current one. Then again to the right in this little alcove, you can find another new Pictos for critical burn. So again, make sure you equip that. Then you're going to go left and round the back of this little hill for yet more chroma. Then once you've taken out these two enemies, you can head inside. And directly on your right will be a chroma catalyst. There's nothing up the first flight of stairs, so just head up the rope. Then you're going to go right and down this slope, and directly underneath you will be an energy tint shard, and then just out here some more chroma. Now head back up the ramp and go outside, and at the bottom of this slope we're going to go left. Right over in this corner is even more chroma. And then as we follow this path down, you'll see another enemy to fight. In this game, make sure you are not skipping a single enemy. Kill every single enemy at least once. I don't mean every single type of enemy, I mean every single encounter. Because certain encounters have a unique drop the first time you beat them, and you won't know which ones they are until you do them. Obviously, I will tell you the most important enemies, the ones that do have unique drops, but kill everything at least once, because you don't want to be underleveled. Now that he's dead, at the back you can loot even more chroma. And we're going to go rest at the expedition flag and level up. Please do note I will be skimming past the level ups and skills that I take etc. in this series, because I don't want to dilute the purpose of this series and bombard you with too much information. As I say, there are going to be early, mid and late game build guides for all characters. So make sure you're subscribed, and if you care about what stats and weapons and skills that I'm using, make sure you're subscribed and keep your eye out for the build guide series as well. This next enemy we're fighting, the Portier, can be an absolute fucker. He has some really awkward attacks, so I would advise dodging instead of parrying until you get his timings down. Once he's dead, at the back right here is a colour of Lumina, and then over on the other side of this ledge you will find a chroma catalyst. Now we're just going to keep making our way forward up this ramp, and now you will be introduced to flying enemies. They are hard to counter, but it will one-shot them if you're able to. Apart from that, just spam ranged attacks at them because they will dodge pretty much everything else. This is a chromatic enemy. There are chromatic versions of pretty much every single enemy in the game. They are super powerful, and if you want to 100% the game, eventually you do want to kill them all. But please note, you can always come back and fight them later if you are struggling to do so at your current level. In fact, sometimes it is advisable to leave the chromatics until you have unlocked more party members, because the more people you have in your party, the more experience will be shared around, rather than just being given to these two. This guy has the exact same moveset as the other Lanciers though, so if you are good at fighting them, you should be able to take him down without too much problem. And again, I would just always advise, if you aren't absolutely confident on the timings, just dodge over parry. And now that he's dead, we got a new Pictos, and also could go and loot some chroma behind him, along with getting a level up for one of our weapons. Now head up the rope we saw a minute ago, and drop down the back here for a big bundle of chroma. Climb back up the ledges and head left to grapple across. Then you are going to head right and take out this big dude. Once he's dead, you can go right to the end for even more chroma, and then double back on yourself and start climbing up the handholds. At the top, you'll find the journal for Expedition 81 and this friendly jar enemy as well. We will be talking to him, but I'll talk to him once I have the corresponding quest item, so I can just do it all at once. So for now, rest up, level up, grab your skills, and we will continue progressing forwards. Down to the left here, you can grab another new Pictos, Burning Shots. Again, make sure you're equipping all of these so that you can start learning them. And now we're going to encounter a bunch of this new type of enemy. Try and get very, very good at fighting these abests, because you will find a super powered chromatic version of them in no time at all. And if you can beat it, it will give you a huge injection to experience early on in the game, making the next few areas an absolute walk in the park. Once that one's dead, just behind where we just came down, you'll find a color of Lumina here. Then head left, staying up the top, and take out another abest. Once they're dead, you can grab the chroma catalyst that was just behind them. And once you've cleared out the enemy down here, you can then loot another color of Lumina just underneath the bridge. Keep making your way forwards, take out this last abest, and once you smash through these barrels, you can loot the resin, which we need to progress the Jar Nevron's quest. Firstly though, come in here to loot the Revive Tint Shard. Now we are going to make our way all the way back to the jar. Speak to the jar, progress his quest, and once you shoot his lantern to light it, he will reward you with a healing tint. Now, when you come back outside again, head right, staying up top. And if you follow this path round, at the end you'll be able to loot Dead Energy 2, one of the most powerful early game Pictos, giving you +3 AP every time you kill an enemy, allowing you to just chain a near endless amount of free shots, especially when stacked with other free shot enhancing Pictos. Now we're going to head up and rest at the Expedition 70 rest point, and make sure you level up to prepare for the final boss fight of this area. Remember, don't waste your big attacks taking out shields. Use lots of low damage quick succession attacks to whittle down the shields, and then start doing your big damaging attacks afterwards. I managed to get off a perfect combo here, with Lune killing both of the minions with counterattacks, meaning she had 9 AP to spend, and she was easily able to tear away all of the boss's shields before it had a chance to do anything. And then unfortunately, right at the end of the fight, I lose out on my no-hit bonus with that one last poorly timed dodge. But with that, the boss is dead, we earn our loot, and there are now just 2 more things to do in this area before we finish. You'll see right in front of you that swirling portal. That is the way out to the overworld. You don't want to go through there yet, but don't worry, if you did, you can come back to areas as frequently as you want. Turn around and go right, then at the end of this ledge you can loot a new Pictos empowering attack. Now go down this rope, and if you just keep following the path, before long you can loot yet another colour of Lumina. We are now done here, so go back up the central rope and you'll be back where you just were, and you can now head out into the overworld. There are a few things you can now do in the overworld, nothing incredibly important. There's a bit of chroma, there's a couple of colours of Lumina, not worth making a full video on yet. I'm going to wait until we unlock a bit more, so feel free to explore some of this area by yourself if you want. But the next episode will be covering Flying Waters. So with that, my friends, all that's left for me to say is thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.